pretty one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am with another tag, and this is an original tag by just one reader, the Evita Book Tag. Pause this, or maybe even skip this, and go directly to his original tag video if you haven't already seen it, because Juan is a professional singer. No, he's not, but he should be. He should be moonlighting. He should have two jobs. So he sings excerpts from these songs, and even better than the news that you should go and watch him sing is the fact that I will not be singing. So anyway, I don't know anything about Evita. I mean, I know a bit about Evita Peron, but I didn't get that gay gene about musicals. I have the same opinion about musicals as I do about opera. I love them, except for the singing. So I'm still going to do this tag because I love Juan, and his channel is one of my very favorite channels on BookTube, so I can't imagine that any of you who follow me don't follow him, but go check him out. So the first question is from Oh What a Circus, a book in which death propels the story forward. And for that one, I have chosen this gay novel from last year, Some Hell by Patrick Nathan. The young teenager, I think he's about 13, maybe 14, gay but not out, just struggling with his sexuality when his father commits suicide. And so then it's the aftermath of that and how he processes that with his mother, who's not the most well-balanced of mothers, alongside coming out. It's beautifully written. The ending is very deeply problematic for many readers. It was only somewhat problematic for me, but I still couldn't figure out how ultimately I felt about it, and I won't until I reread it, hopefully sometime this year. But with all that being said, I do recommend it a lot. Some Hell by Patrick Nathan. Nice cheery prompt to start the tag on, Juan. Buenos Aires, a book in which setting or atmosphere plays a central role. There's any number of those, but I chose one that I just finished last night. And this is a Austrian/Slovenian novel, Angel of Oblivion by Maja Hatterlap, published by Archipelago Books in about 2016, I believe. And Maja Hatterlap is an Austrian-Slovenian writer. She is from the part of Austria that was predominantly ethnically Slovenian, bordering what eventually became the country of Slovenia. And this is a novel, heavily autobiographical novel, about growing up in that area, and especially the trauma of her grandmother having been in the concentration camps and her father having been a partisan fighting against the Nazis during World War II, and how that trauma plays itself out generation after generation and spreads through all the neighborhood in the rural Slovenian Austria. And the setting is really, really important. I can visualize the forests and so much of the partisan fighting and so much of the escapes and hiding from the Nazis involved being in the forest, and the forest was the livelihood of the father and so on. So it's just really richly drawn, the setting. And this was a 5-star read for me. I will be doing a full review. It may even be up on my channel by the time this video gets on my channel. Next, A New Argentina, a book revolving around power and politics. So I don't like reading fiction that's about those topics because I think they don't really make for good fiction. So I have chosen my favorite work of popular history, Team of Rivals, The Political Genius of Abraham Lincoln, 2005 book by Pulitzer Prize winning American historian Doris Kearns Goodwin. It is immensely readable. I was, of course, anybody who's alive should be pretty interested in Abraham Lincoln, and I was, but it made me exponentially more fascinated by Abraham Lincoln. It's a wonderful book. New movie was so-so, but the book is a must-read if you are interested in history. It's reads like a novel and educated me so much, alongside the fact that it was told with such a novelistic flair. I absolutely loved it. Don't Cry For Me Argentina, a classic book. This is a prompt that I think, for me personally, is boring because I don't want to talk about... it struck me at first as being boring because who wants to talk about Wuthering Heights or Jane Eyre? Like, it's been done to death. So I've chosen a classic novel from Poland. And that is, in English, the title is The Doll by Boleslav Prus. A tome of a novel, originally published, I want to say, 1890. Yes, originally published in Polish in 1890, and I read about 40% of this book last year, and I got stuck, and I'm going to take another kick at the can, maybe later this year as a buddy read, but I mostly loved what I read, but it was also a very challenging read without a thorough grounding in Polish culture and history. Not enough footnotes. So I'm going to be hopefully buddy reading it with one of my Polish subscribers and maybe another booktuber later this year or next year. I don't care when it is, but I do want to finish it. It's got humor and the characters are so rich. It's about a merchant who falls in love with a noble lady in the 1870s in Warsaw. And it was at that time, all through Europe, it was the same story. The nobility had no money. They had the prestige but no money, and the merchant class was rising and they had all the money. So how do those two classes fit together or clash? And in and amongst that, an obsessive love story. Wokulski, the merchant, the rich merchant, was a really richly drawn character. And the opening chapter is a discussion. It opens with a discussion in a Polish pub where everybody's drunk and talking about politics and gossiping about Wokulski and the noble lady. And it was a freaking tour de force of a chapter. And there's much else about it that I absolutely loved, and I will try it again as soon as I can. The Doll by Boleslav Prus. Rainbow High, a book that is very gay. No, that's a joke. A book that is majestic, grandiose. So I have chosen, fits my personality, but it's also an eye-rolling choice in many ways. I have chosen the biography of Queen Elizabeth II, Majesty, by Robert Lacey. And this is the first royal biography that I ever read, and I read it when I was 11 years old. I've just pulled up the New York Times review, and it was published in 1977. I was 11, and I read it. I think my grandma bought it for herself, and I borrowed it. And I have read dozens and dozens of royal biographies ever since, so it turned me into a queen. I don't remember anything about the book. I just remember learning a lot about the Queen, and it just intensified my fascination with the royal family. So I should pause here just briefly to say that I am not a monarchist. I don't care about that part. I don't care if Britain or Canada or Australia abolishes the monarchy. I have no opinion on that. But because I got so obsessed with the people, from Queen Victoria to the present, at such a young age, they are my gods. It's my own private mythology. I'm just deeply obsessed with their biographical lives, and I don't care about the politics of it. I'm agnostic. If the monarchy's abolished tomorrow, I will still be as obsessed with them as I am today. So I'm reading a fabulous biography of Queen Mary right now. And the last one is And the Money Kept Rolling In, an expensive or cheap book. I am going to talk about a book that I don't have, unfortunately. This was the 1994 Easton Press limited edition of Nelson Mandela's memoirs, A Long Walk to Freedom. And it was a gorgeous leather-bound edition which he signed. And there was only, I don't know, 1,000 or 2,000 or 5,000. There weren't very many printed. And Nelson Mandela is the only world leader that I revere, and I have quite a collection of kind of memorabilia. I have a framed election ballot from the first free South African election where he was the presidential candidate, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff. But I wish to hell that I'd spent $500 on eBay to get one 15 years ago, because that's what they were going for. I'm sure that they are exponentially what? I'm just checking Amazon.com, and they're $4,500 now. So they're much scarcer and more expensive, and I would probably never own one, but that's an expensive book that would mean a lot to me to have in my collection. So that is the Evita tag. Great tag, great short little tag, fun to do. Juan, thank you for tagging me. I'm going to tag, again, I just randomly went to some of the people that recently commented. If you want to get tagged by me, you got to comment on my videos, people. So I'm tagging Anna Bailey Karras from the Dusty Bookshelf, Marc Nash, and Karen of Runwright Reads, but I'm also throwing it open to anybody who would like to do this tag. So please do it. And if you are so inclined and are so talented, please sing along. And I will accept all of your gratitude for the fact that I opted not to do that myself. Thanks for watching.